It looks like we're getting ready to head into the habitat. This is a really cool view, everybody. You're looking above our largest habitat here at the Aquarium of the Pacific. And it looks like Rachel's going in.
Okay, here we go. So I'm going to turn off my ambient breathing valves. So now I'm breathing strictly from the air that is compressed in the tank that I have on my back.
This is amazing. Rachel, people are wondering why it sounds like that when you're breathing. Can you talk about that?
Well, I kind of sound like Darth Vader right now, don't I? I really do. And so this is just how the air passes through the mask. Actually, the air comes through this little hole right here. It comes up into my mask, and I breathe it from that point. So now that I'm in the center of the exhibit, it's about 28 feet deep. It's going to be time for us to go down. Are you guys ready to descend?
Let's do it. Let's give a round of applause to Rachel, everybody. She's doing an incredible job so far. This is her first time on TikTok Live with us. Let's give her a good round of applause as she heads into the exhibit. This is so cool.
So one thing that we always have to do when we're talking with our fellow safety divers is we've got to make sure that everybody knows what we're doing. So it's time to go underwater. So we're just going to give a going down sign, which is thumbs down. Right? Okay, ready? Here we go.
Here we go. Wow, this is incredible. This looks amazing. And there she goes. How you doing, Rachel? How's it feel underwater?
Doing great.
This is incredible. Lots of bubbles around.
Alrighty.
This is just gorgeous. This is so cool, everybody. So if you're just joining us, welcome. We're live here at the Aquarium of the Pacific in Long Beach, California, hanging out with Dive Safety Officer Rachel, who is inside of the largest habitat we have here at the Aquarium of the Pacific. That is our tropical reef habitat. And you can see those bright blue fish behind her. Those are very reminiscent of tropical waters. Rachel, what is that bright blue fish hanging out with you right now?
The bright blue fish? Oh, you mean Dory?
Aren't they adorable? That is a blue tang, correct?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, they're so cool. What other animals are inside this habitat? Do you have any favorites?
Let's see. My favorite are probably some of the yellow tangs. I don't know. What are my favorite animals?
All of them.
Let me see if I can find them.
There are over 1,000 animals in this habitat. And how many species, Rachel?
There's, I think, 907 species.
Whoa, that's a lot. This is amazing. Everyone, thanks so much for hopping in. We are underwater inside of our largest habitat here at the Aquarium of the Pacific with Dive Safety Officer Rachel. Rachel, say hello to everybody.
All right.
How are you feeling in there?
A lot better now. See, my handy-dandy safety diver right here, her name's Colleen. She really helped me out just now. I was a little bit buoyant, which means that I was kind of floaty. It's kind of interesting because this big wetsuit that I'm wearing, it actually makes me very, very floaty, very, very buoyant. And so what we have to do is we have to wear lead weight, like seriously like a kettlebell. And we have to wear it around our waist as a weight belt. And unfortunately, because of the mask and the excitement and all the air that I'm holding in my lungs to talk to you guys, I didn't put on enough lead weight, so I couldn't get down. So thanks to my colleague, my safety diver here, she really helped me out by coming in and giving me just a little bit more weight. So,
shout out to you, Colleen.
Yeah, Colleen.
Amazing. So let's talk about the equipment that you're wearing in order to dive into a habitat. Can you go through a little bit?
Right, yeah. So this hose that you see right here, this is my air hose that connects all the way back to my scuba tank. And like I said before, the scuba tank itself actually has air in it. A lot of people think it's oxygen, but it's not pure oxygen. It actually just is. It's regular air that you breathe that has been pushed down and compressed into a tiny little scuba tank. So a lot of people ask, how long can you be underwater or how deep can you go? And that all depends on how much air is in your tank and really the depth that you're going. So my other, let's see what I have. Right now what I'm wearing is a full face mask, which is a really special piece of equipment. Most of the time we're just wearing what Colleen's wearing over here, which is a regular scuba mask, and what she's got in her mouth is called a regulator. Another piece of gear that we have here, this is called our submersible pressure gauge. And this tells me exactly how much air is in my scuba tank at a time. And as you can see, I've been sucking it quite a bit already.
Rachel, you're doing a great job. Some people are concerned about your breathing. You feeling okay in there? Is this what it sounds like when you're scuba diving?
Yes, this is what it sounds like. It's just it sounds like kind of Darth Vader-y. And so when you actually are scuba diving, what's interesting is that you have to use the air in your lungs to keep yourself neutrally buoyant. So when I'm swimming over a piece of coral, I will give myself a big inhale to bring myself a little bit higher. And then if I'm trying to sink a little bit, I push it all out. Very much like yoga.
Yeah.
We're doing your pranayama breathing. Any of you out there do any yoga around here? So,
Yoga underwater. That would be cool.
Yeah, underwater yoga. Oh, that would be so much
awesome.
fun.
Rachel, how long have you been diving?
I have been diving since I was about 12 years old. And so I just turned 31 last week. It was my birthday.
Happy birthday.
So,
Let's give Rachel a happy birthday, everybody.
Oh, look who's coming in hot behind me. What?
Wow, who is that, Rachel? That's actually one of my favorite animals in this habitat. Look at that tail.
Yeah, that's an eagle ray. Well, I love the eagle ray. Did you know his tail is actually, oh, there he is. He's right back here. His tail is actually 8 feet long.
Wow. Hi, Guy. That's the male eagle ray we have in this habitat. Look at his polka dots. I just love him.
Oh, he's so cool. You know what's really fun is when we first got him, probably maybe about 4 or 5 years ago, he was a little tiny baby, and I swear he couldn't have been bigger than like my shoulder width. And now I think he's like 6 feet across.
He's huge.
Yeah,
He's the
65
coolest.
inches I think was the
He's amazing.
his wingspan that we it was super cool.
Everyone, thank you so much for joining us. We're live here at the Aquarium of the Pacific in Long Beach, California, hanging out with Dive Safety Officer Rachel inside of the largest habitat we have here at the aquarium, which is Tropical Reef. And who is that swimming above you? People are asking a lot. Do we have any sharks hanging out with you in there?
Yeah. All of a sudden, all these fish are excited. Oh, he said hello.
They're very popular in there.
Oh, and this little guy, he bumped into me as well. You know, one thing that I forgot to put on here in the exhibit is a pair of gloves. What's interesting is you have to actually be careful. Normally we are all wearing gloves all the time because my fingers actually look like a piece of squid. And that's what a lot of these guys eat in here. And so I have to be careful for the little guys with teeth because they'll kind of nibble on me a little bit thinking that it's a
so
squid.
some fish have teeth?
What's that?
Some fish have teeth?
Yes, some do. Actually, let's see. Well, Dory has some teeth herself, and some other guys over here. Let's see if I can get anyone here real close. Well,
they're just photobombing you nonstop. I love it. This is so cool. Rachel, we do have sharks in this habitat. Are you worried at all about diving with sharks?
Ooh, see, this guy right here, he's the one who's got teeth. Look at him go.
There he goes. Rachel, we have sharks in this habitat as well. Are you ever worried about diving with sharks here at the aquarium?
Oh, no, not one bit. The sharks that we have in here, we have a zebra shark, or also called a tiger shark, a leopard shark in other parts of the world, and that's this big guy that you see right up here.
Yeah, we see them swimming at the top. That is so cool. Sharks get a bad reputation, but I know for a fact here at the Aquarium of the Pacific, we like to inform our audiences that sharks are very sweet, docile animals.
Right. It's actually this guy right behind me. This is the bonnet head shark. He looks like a baby hammerhead. She's actually the smallest of the entire hammerhead species, and he's the favorite animal of a lot of the aquarists here because he's just got so much personality.
Oh, I don't blame them. And Rachel, I know we have some fish in that habitat with their own personalities.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Do you see Bubbles the fish anywhere?
Oh, where is Bubbles? That might be him right there.
Can you talk about why we have a fish named Bubbles?
Yeah, he's so funny. Bubbles, actually, I do. You know what? I do think that's him. We have about 6 golden spadefish in the exhibit, and one of them, just one of them, has a real love for the bubbles that we blow out of our mask. So much so that sometimes if we're not blowing enough bubbles, we'll start pecking at her head, asking for more bubbles. It's so funny.
So anyone who says that fish don't have a personality are totally wrong.
Yeah. You know, I mean, I kind of thought that maybe they did. I always had a fish tank at home, but it wasn't until I got in the water with them and fed them every week to really see that they're so much like my cat at home or my dog. They have just as much personality, and different fish like to do different things at certain times of day, and it's not really species specific.
That's hilarious. I love that so much. Okay, for everyone just joining us, welcome. We're live here at the Aquarium of the Pacific in Long Beach, California, hanging out with dive safety officer Rachel. Rachel, can you talk about your job a little bit? What does a dive safety officer do?
Right. So most of the look at this guy. Of course, doesn't really want me to.
Oh my gosh, that is.
You guys almost just got eaten by a
bird. Incredible! Oh my goodness, everybody! This is my favorite animal personally in this habitat, and she really put on a show for us right there. That was incredible. Can you chat a little bit about what that large fish is?
Yeah, so this is called a Queensland grouper, and she likes to eat big pieces of mackerel or different pieces of like squid or salmon. And we hand feed her, and there's quite a little technique to it. So as you guys just saw, the way that the grouper feeds is by opening its mouth really big. So it's called an ambush predator. So it very slowly will creep up on an animal in the open ocean, and then it opens its mouth really big, and that suction that's created sucks the fish in its mouth and eats it. So there's a trick.
So we were almost lunch.
Right, you guys were almost lunch. I was a little nervous about these little guys with their little teeth, but nope, the grouper really takes the cake.
Rachel, how deep are you right now?
I'm probably about 20 feet. I'd say about 20 feet.
Very cool. Okay, yes. Before we were interrupted by the grouper trying to swallow us, I was asking you about your job, Rachel, here at the aquarium. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, so I for sure do love my job. I'm a dive safety officer, which means that I am one of 5 people who manage all of the volunteer scuba divers that are in the exhibits that you see. We've got about, let's see, I think we have about 60 volunteer scuba divers at this time, and probably about 50 staff divers. And so my job is to oversee all the diving operations that happen from day to day. I'm actually rarely the person who's in the exhibit feeding the animals unless I am showing a new volunteer how to feed the animals. It's really cool because those people who get to do the really fun stuff here, most of them are volunteers. And so I'm just the one that gets to stay dry and manage them and make sure that everybody knows how to feed that grouper.
But sometimes you get to hang out with us on TikTok Live, right?
Yes.
Very cool.
This is awesome.
So if someone is watching and they want to become a volunteer diver once we have positions open, do you have any recommendations for them or any advice?
Yeah, totally. Just get scuba diving. If you're not already certified, I would highly recommend getting a scuba certification. And you do need to be a rescue diver, a certified rescue diver, in order to volunteer here at the aquarium. And so experience is everything. It's about the amount of time that you've spent with your head underwater. So just get out there, get in the ocean, and get comfortable being underwater and knowing when you need to take a breather before you get in, like when I just did right up there at the beginning of this TikTok. I wasn't ready just yet, so I had to take a few long, deep yoga breaths and then get started because it's an awesome job. It's pretty intense, but it's super awesome.
And you're doing a great job. Everyone on TikTok is loving you. They think you're a mermaid, which I totally agree with.
Thank you.
And so, Rachel, you're inside of our largest habitat here at the Aquarium of the Pacific. Someone wants to know, what's your absolute favorite animal inside of the habitat?
Oh, absolute favorite? Oh, well, then I'm going to have to take you guys over here. I hope my communication line can go this far. It would have to be probably this big stingray you see down here. So this is called a southern stingray. and she has been here in the exhibits for about 12 years. And you see, here comes another
Oh my gosh,
ray.
double rays! Look at that! Scooch out of my spot.
Yeah, well, I swear, all of these fish in here really love being the center of attention. Let
They
me tell
really
you.
do have their own personalities. 100%.
And here comes Bubbles to say hello.
Oh, and here comes the grouper coming right towards you. We see him. That is my favorite animal, everybody. If you're just joining us, welcome. We are underwater. Well, not me. I am in a closet, actually, right now. But my name is Madeline. I am behind the scenes today with Dive Safety Officer Rachel, who is actually inside of our largest habitat here at the Aquarium of the Pacific. I want to give a shout out to our donors. We've raised a little bit of money this stream so far. Thank you so much to let's put up your names. Let's see, Cosmic Rose, Anonymous, and Sheena. Thank you so much for your support of our nonprofit aquarium. When you donate to the aquarium here on TikTok Live, that your full donation goes right back to our animals and our conservation efforts. So we have 12,000 animals here at the Aquarium of the Pacific, and this exhibit alone holds 1,000 of them.
Yes, 1,000. Isn't that crazy?
That is so crazy. Rachel, when you have a moment, can you turn the camera around so we can see a little more of the habitat? And I'm going to prove that we are live right now for everybody who doesn't think we're live. Rachel, can you pan the camera up?
Whoop.
Can you pan the camera down? Can you pan it up again? How about left to right?
Left, Simon says right.
There we go. Amazing. Very, very cool. All right, let's answer a couple more questions while we're live here on TikTok. Rachel, we've been streaming for about 25 minutes now. We have about 15 minutes left to go. How are you doing down there?
I'm doing great.
Someone wants to know if any of the fish are nibbling on your braids.
That's a great question, and the answer is yes.
Absolutely. So cool. Okay, so behind you, we just saw a shark laying on the bottom of the exhibit.
Let's see. Oh, yeah, let's go over that way.
Yeah. So, Rachel, I know why some of our sharks can lay on the bottom of a habitat. Do you want to explain it, or you want me to take over while you're swimming over there?
Yes. So it's kind of interesting. We've got one shark that can lay on the bottom of the habitat, and the other shark from a different species has to be swimming around constantly. Oh, and if you see right next to him, you see that little blue fish on the Stingray?
Yes, we do.
That's a cleaner wrasse. So that little fish comes over and he cleans off all the little parasites and dirt and things. You see him? He's cleaning them. It's called a symbiotic relationship.
That's
Super
amazing.
Cool.
That little itty bitty fish is allowed. I've actually seen those fish go into the grouper's mouth. And the grouper will sit there and allow those tiny fish to swim in its mouth, not hurt them at all because they understand this little guy is helping me out. This is so cool. Rachel, how you doing down there?
I'm doing good.
Amazing.
I'm just trying to make sure the grouper doesn't try to eat you guys again.
Oh, this is an incredible view of the zebra sharks. You can see right now zebra sharks can hang out on the floor of the ocean and push water over their gills, unlike some other sharks who always have to swim in order to breathe. You can see that happening right now. Rachel, you're an incredible camera woman. This is great camera work here.
Thank you. I like to think of myself as like a shark whisperer.
I think you are, absolutely. So, Rachel, are you at all worried about diving with sharks here at the aquarium?
Oh, no, not at all. Actually, we do a lot of hand feeding to some of our sharks, but what I've kind of noticed is sharks underwater are a lot like feral cats. You know when you see a little cat like out in the wild and you're like, oh, I want to pet it so bad, and it kind of like, it's very curious, but then the second you make a move, it like runs away? Same thing with sharks. They're very curious.
A little timid too.
But they always kind of want to swim away. So they're quite skittish. They're quite skittish by nature. So what's cool about this shark in particular is because of that little hole that you see at the very, very behind his eyeball. That's called a spiracle. And that hole is what allows this animal to lay on the bottom and breathe. Because he's actually pulling water in and pushing it out through his gills. A lot of other sharks, like a great white shark and the bonnet head that's in this exhibit as well, they don't have that little hole. And so the only way that they can continue breathing is by constantly swimming around the exhibit and constantly swimming water past their gills. So it's a pretty cool adaptation that allows these guys to chill out.
That's amazing. This is so cool. Rachel, some people are wondering how we can have sharks in a habitat with other fish. How do we prevent the animals in here from eating each other?
Well, I have a question for you. Do you like to make your own food and hunt for your own food, or would you rather have a 5-course meal served to you on
I'm
golden
a
plates?
restaurant girl myself. That sounds more ideal.
Right? So what's cool is that at the aquarium, since we feed them restaurant quality seafood, like probably better food than I actually buy myself at the grocery store, they don't really feel like hunting for other animals. I mean, I can say that maybe there have been 1 or 2 times where our fish counts have been off a little bit, but most of the time it's not an issue absolutely at all. They just don't really ever want to.
Awesome. That is so cool, Rachel. This is amazing. We're live here at the Aquarium of the Pacific in Long Beach, California. And if you donate on this TikTok live, you can actually help the aquarium feed our animals that restaurant quality sustainable seafood. Very, very cool. All right, Rachel, how you doing in there?
Oh, I'm doing good. I'm doing real good, actually. It's starting to now get this a little bit chillier in the water. Like I said, it's 76 degrees, and I'm wearing about a 5-millimeter wetsuit right now. And so, while it's nice and refreshing, if I were to just get on the surface and hang out a little bit, if I were to stay in here without a wetsuit on, I would be freezing right now. And so, but moving around really, really helps. And talking to you guys, well, that's very distracting and fun.
I think so, too. Everyone's really enjoying this. Like I said, people can't stop calling you a mermaid. So you are Mermaid Rachel as well as Dive Safety Officer Rachel today.
Oh, thank you. Yes. That's what, you know what? That's one of my favorite parts about scuba diving. For me, I like it because it makes me feel like I'm flying. Look at me flying into some stuff right here behind me. This is actually artificial coral that you see that's right behind me, and we have some very, very large pipes of water that push the water around, and so sometimes it can be kind of difficult to navigate your way around.
This is so cool. Rachel, some people think this is just a really, really good green screen, and honestly, that would be cool if we had a green screen that good. But you're actually underwater right now, is that right?
Oh, yes, I am 100% underwater right now. It is, I am very, very wet. What can I do to try to prove that
I know, right? I don't know if the technology exists to make it look that good. Rachel, what's your favorite part about scuba diving?
My favorite part.
Talking to me.
It's a really good question because I can tell you a lot of things that I don't like about it, but none of those things really surmount. Oh, look, see, there's bubbles. There's bubbles.
There's bubbles. That might be the best part.
Yeah, that's the best part. I just like this feeling of flying and being able to be absolutely weightless underwater. Like, some people want to be astronauts someday, and I think that would be so cool if I could go into space and fly around, but that's not very practical, and so this is the closest that I got. And so being able to be underwater and feel like I'm flying around with a whole bunch of animals that have no idea really what I am. It's really fun.
They're just hanging out with you. This is so cool. This is really, really awesome.
Hi, Bubbles. So earlier we were talking about this fish that has the most personality, and his name is Bubbles. And it's because he always tries to eat at our Bubbles when we're talking.
He's really living up to his name this stream. I'm appreciative of that. Bubbles is not a paid actor, everybody. This is his natural behavior.
Yes.
That is so cool. Rachel, what are some of the safety things that we do here at the aquarium for our divers? What are some of your safety protocols?
Oh, well, we are constantly practicing all of our rescue procedures. And what's interesting is the more you practice how to rescue someone, the less likely it is that you're going to have to rescue someone. And so we make sure that all of our volunteers are first aid, CPR, AEDU, and O2 certified. So they are very fresh, and they can help people in certain situations where they would need help if it were to come to that. But we also do extensive medical testing on our divers to make sure that they are healthy enough to do all of these awesome, fun things underwater. And lots of drills. It's actually pretty fun because we find out different ways of how to take someone out of the exhibit. We make some fun games out of it. So safety is it's an important part of scuba diving.
Yeah, it's number one. This is so cool, everybody. We're live here at the Aquarium of the Pacific in Long Beach, California, hanging out with Rachel, who is our dive safety officer here at the aquarium. And my name is Madeline. I am behind the scenes today. I'm not underwater personally, but Rachel is. And Rachel, people are wondering how we're able to talk to you underwater right now.
So I'm able to talk to you. Actually, I was just holding on to I have the little speakerphone here. Right here, and I'm actually going to put that a little bit closer onto my ear so I can hear you better. All right, how's that?
That's amazing. And you let me know if I need to speak louder or anything you need, Rachel.
No, I think I'm just getting a little waterlogged.
Perfect. Rachel, does your mask ever fog up?
Oh, that's the coolest part of this mask, is because the air comes into my mask, I can breathe it out the other way. Colleen, on the other hand, her mask definitely does fog up. Let's see if I can ask her to see if she'll clear her mask. Watch this.
And she cleared it. That's amazing.
Is that cool?
That is so cool. And I love that you are able to communicate underwater. Can you tell us some of the different ways you're able to communicate with your buddy?
That's actually a great question. So right now, actually, my dive buddy is asking me how much air I have by doing this symbol right here. And so earlier we were talking about my gear, and this is how much air I have. So now I have 2,000 PSI, which is pounds per square inch. And so how I would tell her to do that, I would give her a big 2. And there's different ways, but one thing that I'll tell her is to put 2 on the arm, like this. So that's just to tell her how much air I have so we can gauge how much more time we can spend underwater.
That is amazing. That's all a part of your training, right? You learn all of those symbols and ways to communicate, because even though you're talking to us underwater, you're not talking to your buddy, right?
No, she does not have an intercom in her little mask, which is kind of also a fun part about scuba diving is it's very quiet. Like, nobody can talk to you normally, and so it's a nice place to just kind of exist without having to answer your phone or feel like you need to answer to any kind of comments or likes or something like that.
It's a great escape. That is so cool. So yes, aside from your breathing, I mean, currently you're talking to us while we're live here on TikTok. Hi, everybody. But besides your breathing, do you really hear anything underwater?
I hear my bubbles. Right now, I hear it's very kind of like that loud bubble sound that you would normally think that you'd hear underwater. When I'm in the open ocean, you can hear these like kind of crackling sounds. These like tiny little crackling sounds, and truly what that actually is are just tiny little crabs. They're
so
tiny
cool.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It sounds like it's very interesting, and sometimes, like at nighttime, if you do a night dive, which sounds a lot scarier than you think it is.
It does sound a little spooky.
Yeah, when you do that underwater at night, you won't hear any of the crackling, and it's because the crabs, they just went to sleep. It's pretty cool.
That's amazing. Rachel, what are some differences between diving in an aquarium habitat here at the Aquarium of the Pacific and diving in the open ocean?
Well, one thing is how the animals behave. I'm actually going to turn it right here because we are seeing we're seeing a new friend show up right now. Can you see him right in the distance?
Oh, this is so cool. I just spotted him.
Yeah, here he comes. Come say hello.
I'm freaking out. This is so cool.
Yeah, that's a honeycomb eel.
That is so cool.
You know what's really interesting is when we go to feed the honeycomb eel, he has a particular liking for the sardines or the mackerel. So sometimes we'll have clam or shrimp or squid to give him. But he usually won't eat it unless we hand him a piece of fish, which just goes to show how much weird personality and quirks they have once they get the full menu to choose from.
Oh, 100%. This is so cool, Rachel. Everyone, we're going to wrap up here in just a few minutes, but I want to give a shout out to our 4 donors. Thank you so much for supporting our nonprofit aquarium. Brizzy, Cosmic, Anonymous, and Sheena, thank you so much for your support here on TikTok Live. 100% of your donation goes right back to our nonprofit aquarium. We appreciate you so much. All right, let's catch up on a few more questions before wrapping up. But Rachel, I want to check in with you. How are you feeling down there?
Oh, I'm feeling really good. It's nice to kind of take some time to just kind of relax and, you know.
You're a pro on TikTok, though. Everyone's loving you. You're going to have to do this again soon.
Hopefully. This is super fun.
Rachel, have you spotted a sea turtle while you've been in there?
Oh, where's the turtle? Where's the turtle?
So we have one sea turtle in this habitat. His name is Lou. But I know that sea turtles spend a lot of their time sleeping underwater.
Yeah. Let me see if I can find him here. I'm going to ask my buddy as well if she's
Whoa, you can ask someone if you've seen a turtle underwater?
Yeah, so here I'm going to try to set this up here.
This is so cool, TikTok. Everyone, drop a turtle emoji in the comments. We'll see if we can get Lou, the olive ridley sea turtle, to come out before we wrap up the stream today. We'll find out. Fingers crossed.
All right, so this is the sign for turtle. And so my driver's telling me that it's actually on the other side of the exhibit. Let's see if I can take my communication cord that far. Let's see if
we'll
we can
find
go that
out,
way.
everybody. Thanks to everybody who's sticking around. We're going to find out if we can spot the turtle today. This is so cool. We're getting lots of turtle emojis in the comments. This is amazing. Oh, someone put a very fancy emoji. I don't know how you did that. I forgot what your name was. There you go. This is amazing, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today on TikTok Live. This has been a really, really cool stream with diver Rachel. She is underwater inside of our largest habitat here at the Aquarium of the Pacific. This is so cool. I would love to see some blue hearts if this inspired you to scuba dive on your own.
Oh, there's the turtle.
Oh, my goodness. How special. There he is. He's in his little turtle house.
All right, yes, he is sleeping.
You're actually in my favorite area of the entire aquarium, which is our tropical tunnel. It's such a magical place, and that is where Lou the sea turtle likes to hang out. There's his little house.
He's pretty sleepy right now, it appears.
This is so cool. All right, Rachel. I think we're a little laggy. Maybe if you get a little closer, head back towards the main part of the habitat.
All right.
We'll catch up to you, and then we'll wrap up in just a few minutes.
All right.
You're doing a great job, Rachel. This is awesome.
Oh, one thing here. It's fun to show is, you see this little thing right here?
Yeah, what is that?
This we actually use to put our vegetables on because we're constantly cleaning off all of this algae, like what you see that's in this spot right now. We're always typically scrubbing it off because it keeps the tank healthier. And so in order to supplement the algae that the herbivores would normally eat, we give them lettuce and other vegetables and peppers and things, and they just absolutely love to eat it.
So no excuses for not eating your veggies, because if fish can eat them, so can you. Is that right?
That is definitely true.
Rachel, this is amazing. I'm going to wrap up with you now, but if you want to hang out for a few minutes underwater, I'm going to hop off, and if you just want to show, kind of pan the camera around for another minute or two, that would be awesome. Rachel, you did amazing. Let's give a round of applause for Rachel in the comments, and we'll have to see you back on TikTok Live soon. Thanks so much, everybody. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in again. If you can't get enough of watching the aquarium live on TikTok, we're live every Tuesday at 3 p.m. Pacific. And right now, you can actually head to the link in bio and watch our webcams. You can see Rachel currently in the water on our explore.org webcams. Thank you, Rachel. You were amazing. And we'll see you next time on TikTok Live, everybody.
All right. Thanks so much, everybody. I hope you had fun, and go dry off.